Good morning. I'm so excited to share the next leader today about Obed Edom. Obed Edom was, he wasn't a Hebrew or a thing. He was from a gentle personality, but God, used him as a leader. We read from 2 Samuel chapter 6 that how David wanted to take the ark of the Lord back to Jerusalem. And here we read this portion from there, verse 9 onwards till 11. David was afraid of the Lord that day and said, "How can the ark of the Lord ever come to me?" He was not willing to take the ark of the Lord to be with him in the city of David. Instead, he took it to the house of Obed Edom the Gittite. The ark of the Lord remained in the house of Obed Edom the Gittite for 3 months, and the Lord blessed him and his entire household. Imagine when the Lord's presence was in the house of Obed Edom. That means 3 months is 90 days. And God blessed the whole entire family, household of Obed Edom. He was a Gittite, he was not a Hebrew or Israelite, but God used him. And David was supposed to take the ark of the Lord by the priests. The priests, the Levites, were supposed to carry the ark. Okay, but he used strong men to carry it and put it on the cart. Imagine God's presence putting on a cart, a wooden cart, and a cow. The oxen had to carry them. That itself was a humiliating to God. God was not willing to be moved like that. The presence of God was in the Ark of the Covenant. So here we see that David later in 1 Chronicles chapter 15 verse 1 to 3, he prepared the place. Later he regretted and prepared the place for the ark of the Lord. He appointed 862 priests and Levites to sanctify, to bear the ark and offer the sacrifices. And he also appointed singers and musicians to praise God before the ark. Verses 4 to 15 we read it. In First Chronicles 6 chapter verses 31 to 47 we read, there were 3 chief choir leaders, singers, musicians, psalters, harps, cymbals, and also 14 assistant singers and musicians were there. Imagine just 90 days of God's presence in one person's life. In the family, we see there was a great blessing. Just want to quote about how God used Obed Edom and how God blessed him as a leader, impacting others. 1 Chronicles chapter 15 verse 18 we read that he was one among the assistant singers who was able to sing for the Lord. When the ark of the Lord moved, even Obed Edom moved along with the ark of the Lord. He didn't stay at his house. He just moved out so that he tasted the love and the presence of God in his house. So he immediately moved along with the ark of the Lord into the temple. And so we see that in 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 37 and 38, 8 of his sons were porters in the temple services. Imagine, he was not only a singer, but one of his children were porters, served in the temple. Thirdly, we see that in 1 Chronicles 15:20, 21 of his children played the lyre with the harp, and Obed Edom was there, a part of that musical group, instrumentals. And fourthly, we see in 1 Chronicles 15:18 to 24, the priests blew the trumpets. He was also there as a guard. The ark, Obed Edom and Jenny were chosen to guard the ark. He was there guarding the ark. Fifthly, we see in 1 Chronicles 16:4 and 5, David appointed choir to sing regularly before the ark of the Lord and to minister. So Obed-Edom was one of the psalters. They were to compose and to give thanks and praise God all the time. So they ministered continuously morning and evening. And next we see that 1 Chronicles 26:4 to 5, they were gatekeepers in the temple. God richly blessed them, and Obed-Edom was there, part of that. His sons were there, part of the gatekeeper work. God used him and his generation, and we read that Obed-Edom's, in 6th verse, Obed-Edom's son Shemaiah had sons with great ability who earned positions of great authority in the clan. Othniel, Raphael, Obed, Elabad, their relatives Elisha and Shemaiah were also very capable people. And we see in 1 Chronicles 26:15, Obed-Edom and his sons were put in charge of the storehouses. Imagine, in the temple, they were also responsible to take charge of the work and everything. And it says the lot fell of the south gate of Obed-Edom's son, and lot for the storehouse. They were singers, they were musicians, they were porters, they were doorkeepers, they were guarding the gate guards and storehouse workers. And imagine the whole generation. It says in verse 8, all these descendants of Obed-Edom, including the sons and grandsons, were 62 of them in all, were very capable, well qualified in their work, for their strength, for service. They were mighty men of valor. They, as a generation, were trustworthy people. What a testimony. 90 days, the presence of God made all the difference. Friends, this morning, I want to impact on you. One man's decision to leave his hometown, his family, from Gath, moved to Jerusalem and stayed in the house of the Lord to worship him all the time and reached out in all levels of service. May the Lord bless you and use you as you impact the next generation. God bless you.